Cajun Roots Reseller. You give me an offer and I'll take it.
I say, this is Johnny's place where you can have it for no problem. I got the dollars.
Fixed income, no credit, bad credit. Here at Kajun Roots Reseller, that's no problem.
Let them have it.
I've got my dollars and I sent in my best offer.
We say yes. See the special man. The easiest man on YouTube.
You got the dollars? We got the offer? Let them have it with no problem.
Hello, everyone, and good morning on this TGIF. And how's everybody doing this morning? First in the chat today to come on in is Mr. Yinzer Picker. Hello, Mr. Mike, and how are you doing? Good to see you. Who's Tom Cruise? Hello, good morning, and welcome, Tom. The Junkin Pumpkin. Hello, good morning, and welcome. How are y'all doing this morning? Yellow Brick Road. Hello, and welcome. Miss Kayla, hello, good morning, Mr. Paul, how are you doing? Also, Mr. Eric, hello, good morning, Bobby. How's everybody doing this morning on this Friday of a TGIF? And without further ado, let's bring on our guest. He's in backstage. Y'all may know him, and again, he's been on quite a while now. And so let's give a big warm welcome to our guest, Mr. Eric OBX Picker. Good morning.
Morning.
How you doing over there?
All right. Little on the delay. I was watching on the YouTube side. About like a second. But yeah, man, great to be here. Good to be with you again, Johnny.
I'm so glad you were able to make it. Yeah. Good morning, New England Thrifter. How are you doing? Good morning. Hello. And I'm the only one that can't hear. Might want to check the volume maybe on your side, because I think we're pretty loud on our end. Good morning, hello, and welcome to Mr. January House, Mr. Mike in the house. So for those who may not know who you are, because I do have a lot of new people that come in during this morning show, if you would, go ahead and give a brief description of who you are, where you sell, and what you do as far as on your channel.
Yeah, so guys, I'm Eric, the OBX Picker. I also have a second channel now called OBX Flips, but I sell a little bit of everything. I've been around for, gosh, it's been a minute now, a couple years at least on YouTube. I think I started like 2019. And actually, Johnny was one of my early supporters. So it's nice to kind of be back.
I was number 3.
Yeah, it was early on. I remember there's a lot of guys that have been around for a minute, and he's definitely one of them. So on YouTube, I have recently split my channels. I do the Tuesday listing and loafing. It was on the OBX Picker channel. We've moved that to OBX Flips because apparently YouTube does not like lives on your main channel. So I'm trying to split those apart. Currently, I'm actually doing a series called What You Pickin', where I actually go I used to do something similar to this, to where I had a Friday Night Live. I did that for over a year with Sam, the Dapper Tiger. And now I've gone on the road, and I've actually been going and meeting people where they're at and talking to them and doing interviews that way. So that's called What You Pickin'. And I'm trying to even get outside the reselling community a little bit. I've had a couple people who are like reselling in different ways versus just online. So, and I want to get into guys that are collectors and just see what people pick and why they pick it. And, you know, there's some people that resell, some people that collect, some people that just pick for fun. So it's interesting to hear all those stories. I've got some new episodes coming up soon where I actually have some guest spots on people on the 127. So awesome. That'll be fun. Yeah. All
right, I did post his link at the top in the blue box. If you have never subscribed to Eric, there's his link at the top of the blue box. Go ahead and check him out, because I've noticed that you're over your 2K mark now. And so I know when you first started, you were actually working out of your home. And I enjoyed a lot of your new videos where you were basically, like all of us, we were all nervous when we started.
Right.
So talk a little bit about what got you started in the reselling business, and when did you actually go full time?
Okay, so reselling actually came about almost by accident for me. My daughter used to do LuLaRoe. If you're not familiar with that old clothing, like basically multi-level marketing clothing is what it was. But so she got into that when she was young, maybe 19, 20 years old. And so when she did that, her first year and a half, she was into it. Like it, you know, she was ready to roll with it. I was having a lot of sales, doing pretty well with it, had bought a ton of inventory. And then she got over it and she actually moved out. Like she moved out on her own, kind of got her own place and doing her own thing. So after that stuff sat in our closet for a little over a year, I was like, man, this stuff has got to go. Like we got to figure out what are we going to do with it? So we kind of went back and forth about like, hey, are you going to still do this? Like, is there somebody who'll buy your inventory? Because it was to the point she couldn't return it. So I just said, man, you know what? I'll just list it. I'll list some online. I bought from eBay and Amazon and all that stuff before. But I said, you know what? I'll just check out eBay with it and see if we can move it. And so I listed a few items. They were slow, extremely slow to sell. But then once I had the app, I just went around the house like, what other stuff can we get rid of? And I sold a few things that way. Well, then me and my wife, we garage sale thrift store a little bit anyway, even prior to reselling, usually just looking for something for the house or something the kids would want. And so we went to a garage sale. This guy had action figures. He was selling them for his boss who had passed away, and they were at their place of business. So I walked over and scanned one action figure. It was actually a Juggernaut Build-A-Figure from like 2012. And when I scanned that thing, it said $45. Like when I looked it up, I was like, whoa, $45 on that? And so I turned around and asked the guy, I was like, hey, what getting on your action figures? And he goes, well, how many totes you want? I was like, what for 2 totes? He said $20. And then he said, I say, well, what about for all of these totes right here? I think there's 5 of them. He's like, $45. I was like, bingo. Like,
that's right.
I said, I can make that off that one figure. So I went home, and actually, guys, if you go back to my very first video, you'll see that haul. And like Johnny said, I'm in my house in an empty bedroom, and we've got a table set up. The lighting's terrible. I don't know what I'm doing, but I go through that haul and show those action figures. I made thousands of dollars on those action figures, just FYI. So I still have like maybe 5 out of that buy here in the shed, but most of them sold. There was hundreds of them. So that kind of was the thing that set the hook for me as far as reselling. Like, man, this isn't that. It really is time consuming, but it ain't hard. Like, I mean, I'm like a lot of guys. I've worked all kinds of jobs, and I prefer working for myself. So then, you know, you fast forward a little bit. I'd started doing that. I was my own boss. Like I did some gig stuff, Uber. I know how to do construction, any kind of thing to do with that. So I was kind of doing that for myself, like working. We live in the Outer Banks, so there's tons of rental homes and that kind of stuff. So I had people I was doing that kind of work for, and I'd done some credit card processing. I'd basically been working for myself anyway. So then fast forward, COVID hit, some of that other stuff fell out. People didn't want you in their house, that kind of thing. And I said, you know what, I'm just going to go all in. And I did. And it's paid off, you know, to this point. It's been good. So I've been reselling full time for probably about 1.5 years now. Like,
I'm not going to ask you the next question, because I know at the beginning when you were working out at that house, your wife kept telling you, now you got to get rid of this. You got to move this. You got to get out the kitchen. You got to get it off the table. How long did it actually take you to get it not only from out the house, but in the shed you have in the back?
Well, in the shed is a more recent thing. I think I think it'll be 1 year in August since I got my shed. Mm-hmm. But it's still been a process getting everything out here. And like I will say, if you are new to reselling and you're here, I'll just tell you tip number 1. Be organized in the beginning. It's a heck of a lot easier. I was telling Johnny before we got in the show that I'm still in the process of getting this thing squared away. It's been a work in progress, and I've still got a lot of inventory that's not skewed. It's just in here, and I pretty much know where it is, but I do have occasional one that I lose, and I'm going, where did I put that? So, I would just encourage people to do that for sure. For me, as far as in the house, recently I overbought, if that's even such a thing, but I overbought. and I had a bunch of big hauls back to back to back. And so we had to process through the dining room again. And then I actually went and got another place to store stuff. So my goal going forward is going to be to have most of my unlisted inventory off-site. It'll be about 2 miles down the road from me. And then everything in the shed I want to be either being listed or listed, like not have just stuff hanging around, because it does become it's just not good for the house, you know. Like if you have to start in your house, it's fine. And everybody has to do that. But I would encourage you, like, organization is key, especially when you're working for yourself, because you don't got nobody else telling you to do that other than, you know, potential spouse issues or like with having that. So,
and again, if you haven't watched some of his beginning videos, it's amazing on. Actually, you were finding a lot of great things at the beginning too. I mean, still you're doing it now, but at the beginning, even if you were just starting out, it was amazing on the stuff you were finding.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of that. Yeah. For me, I've always been a relationship person anyway. Like I don't meet any strangers. I'm, you know, usually one that I'll initiate conversations. It's one of those things. So one of the things I found out early on is relationships are key. So like, I bought that was a garage sale find. I told everybody what I was doing when I went out. I still do. Like some people are like, try to be incognito guy, but that's not me. I just go out and say, hey, I'm a reseller. Like I'm looking for stuff to resell. Like, do you have anything? That kind of thing. And it's shocking. Are there people that kind of back off? Yeah, for sure. There's some of that. Are there people that may try to charge you a little bit more? Yeah, there's some of that. But they can only charge you more if you pay it, right?
That's right.
So I just move on to somebody else, because out of every one person that's that way, there's probably 10 that are the other way.
Yeah.
I've been to yard sales where people are pulling stuff out of their house. I've been to places where they're like, hey, go scan that. That's the thing that I look at as just relationship stuff. So one of the early ones I bought that Johnny may be referring to besides this, I got the inventory of a sporting goods store.
Yes, you did.
That was only because of a relationship that I had fostered. I was driving out in the country somewhere else, and there was a place that I've always seen a sign at. I never saw any cars. Used to be a thrift store, then it was turned into an auction house. I saw cars out there during the day, pulled in, talked to the guy, told him what I was doing, what I was looking for. And I told him, I said, man, anything new, old stock, anything like, you know, I mean, I was giving him the rundown, electronics, like all this stuff that his people don't care anything about, like I'm into. So he called me up one day and said, hey, I've got a sporting goods store that I'm cleaning out. And he goes, all I want is the fixtures. And I was like, he says, would you be interested in buying the inventory? And I was like, well, keep in mind, this is me like new in this, where I'm spending like a couple $100 a week on it at a yard sale, you know, like that was like kind of my budget early on. So he told me $750, and I hemmed and hawed about it. I was like, man, this is sight unseen. Keep in mind.
Exactly.
No idea. Like he's told me a few things. He goes, there's some shoes there. He told me there was a heat press there. And I was like, well, a heat press, you know, that's probably $300 or $400. That's what I'm thinking. Right. And he's like, he said, but I said, well, how much stuff is it? And he said, he has an 18-foot flatbed trailer. He said, that thing it's about 2 to 3 feet deep full. And I was like, okay. And he goes, I tell you what, for $750, I'll deliver it to your house.
Oh, wow.
When he said that, I was actually out with my dad, and I was like, man, I don't know, like $750, like that for me, that was a huge investment at the time.
Right.
Yeah. So I ended up getting that thing. He delivered it to the house, and you want to talk about overwhelming. This is before I was in the shed.
Right.
So when that stuff came in my house, it literally, we have like a front little den section in our dining room. That thing was full. Like if you go back and watch that video, that haul, you'll see that, man, I was like knee deep, waist deep in the living room. But the cool thing that came out of that was I actually got, I still got the box for one of them. So I got these old school Converse.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So check that out. All stars. I've still got a couple of the display shoes from that buy. Like those are the originals. Like these are early 80s, late 70s. Right. So made in USA, Converse. I got this one because I'm a Carolina fan, Carolina Blue. This is old school right here, buddy. You talk about Dr. J. It's one of those things. So that's some of the stuff I got. So there was some low top Converse that were in that mix of that were in boxes. And I listed my first pair later that afternoon. As soon as I listed it, before my phone hit the top of the table, it sold instantly. Mm-hmm. I listed it for 150 because there was nothing out there.
Right.
150, like, let's just check. So that sold instantly. I listed the next one for 200, sold instantly. I listed the next one 250, sold instantly. I sold 4 pair and had all my money back in less than 10 minutes.
Wow, that is awesome.
I was like, man, so that one paid off. I'm still selling tons of unfortunately it was right before COVID and all that, so all the sports stuff got canceled that year. Mm-hmm. So I've still got tons of baseball pants and sliding shorts and all that kind of stuff. So it's been the gift that keeps giving, I'll just say. Like,
now I want to ask you, because I think if my mind serves me correctly, was that the buy or was it the first buy that got you to start doing your challenge that you did for 30-day challenge?
Actually, I'll tell you what, if you remember back in the day, Froggy Flips threw out this thing called Soy Pod.
Yep.
Show us your pile of death.
Yep.
And when Froggy did that, I'd already built, at that point, I had 2 rooms in my house. One was the room that had the inventory that I used to shoot the old shows out of. The second room was a pile of death. Like it literally was a bedroom stacked to my chin of stuff in there. And so when he threw out that video, I was like, that's kind of the thing that I should focus on myself. So then I shot that 30-day challenge, and
that's right.
Video every day.
Yeah, because that was my 3rd video I did after that one, because the first one was hashtag Sarts video. And then I did the one about meet me, and my 3rd one was the soy pod. And I remember that, yes.
Yeah, so that's what I did. It's 30 days of
displays and stuff where you had it almost up to your neck.
Yeah.
But you did it, though. You did your 30-day challenge, though, like you said you would.
Yeah. It was tough. I'll just tell you, like shooting. Some people, I think, have misconceptions about YouTube. YouTube is a lot. If you, I know early on, like I looked at some other guys, I can tell you the guys that I used to think like, and they're the reason I got started. When I used to watch Lonnie, and I used to watch John, and I used to watch Matt, Part-Time Picker, these guys, and I'm looking at what they're doing. I was like, dude, they're not doing anything hard. Like they're going out here, they're filming what they pick up, they're filming what they sell. And I was like, man, I said, this is pretty easy. And then I started doing it myself, and I was like, whoa, there's a lot more to this. And that 30 days, it helped me a lot grow in YouTube as well, like just kind of getting an idea of it. But it also let me know that, hey, if you don't grind on that and eBay, and then I started focusing a little bit more on YouTube than eBay. And so I had to switch gears and come back and say, look, this is where I'm making my money at right now. This may be something down the road that makes me a little bit, but initially that's what it is. But I love being a part of the community. That's the main reason I got into YouTube.
Well, at the beginning, when you were doing those videos every day, you can tell that you were getting drained from, because even though there were short videos, and I say short, not over 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah,
that's a lot of work. Even though you're doing the filming, then you got to edit it, you got to promote it, then you got to push it, and that kind of thing. And doing that every day plus you're reselling, that's a lot of work.
Well, too, like everything you do, the timeline increases. So, like these guys that are shooting what sold every day, these guys that are doing that, I can guarantee you. So they're what sold, like they're packing, pulling, all that, you've at least doubled your time, maybe tripled your time by the time you edit and do all that kind of stuff on the back end. Like it's a lot of work. So it is one of those things. I mean, I do enjoy it. I like putting out stuff. Like I really enjoy the series I'm doing now, that What You Picking, because I love meeting people. I love seeing how people do things. And, you know, it's been fun, like getting a chance to interview guys like at their place and kind of seeing what's going down with it. And that only came about through reselling. Like if I weren't making money on YouTube, I would not be traveling and doing that kind of stuff for sure. Exactly. I mean, if I weren't doing the eBay side of it.
Now, talk a little bit about what got you started in the weekly. You were doing this, I think it was every week on Tuesdays, where you were doing a listing challenge kind of live. And then now you have certain people that join you every week. Talk about that and what got you started in doing that. And is it being successful for you on listing on your platform?
Yeah. So what happened with that, there's a guy named Ken Skeets. He's from Australia. So one time, I don't know why, but like, I'm sure if you're like anybody else, like when for me, I'm lurking a lot of times because I'm working, and sometimes I just don't watch reselling content, just to be 100% honest, because like you get immersed in it so much. But it was one of those times where I saw somebody who was live, and it was like, man, like this guy was subbed to my channel, like I subbed back to him, kind of thing. And it was like an oddball hour, and I click in there and it said these guys were going 17 hours. They're listing 17 hours. And I was like, what? Like, and then I'm looking, and so Ken Skeets is a media guy. Like he messes mainly with media, like probably 99.9%. So he has stacks of media all around him, and I'm watching this guy just lists like crazy. And I mean, he listed like 800 items or something insane. And I was like, man, so I just got this thing in my brain. I was like, man, I said, you know what? I'm going to try it. I'm going to see what I can do. So my initial listing live it wasn't called Listing and Loafing back then. It was just like an 8-hour listing challenge or something like that. And so I went on there for 8 hours. I actually listed 80 items in 8 hours, which was a grind. I'll just tell you, because mine wasn't media. The only thing I did do is I did stage enough items to where I could hit my goal. Like I had actually more than enough. Like when I say stage, like they're waiting. I haven't looked them up yet. They're waiting. Like, so there was a lot of that I was looking up. If it was electronics, I had previously tested it, but everything else. So if you like, I wouldn't even recommend you to go back and try to watch all that. But like, if you see what it is, so by hitting that 80, then I was like, man, there were so many people that reached out to me in the community, and they're like, man, that was inspiring. Like that was something for me that I'm like, you know, like, hey, let's get on the grind. Let's see if we can list. So people kept talking about it, and I was like, you know what? Let's just keep it rolling. Like, let's just go. Now, initially, the first few shows I did do 8 hours. I've cut it back some now. But like one of the guys that reached out to me was Tim over the years. And he's like, man, he said, this has really helped me in business to take this one day and really grind on my listings. Right. So actually, initially I used to drop the link and sometimes it would get me in trouble. So I finally, or occasionally you get people in that just want to talk, like versus work. So, I ended up we called it Listing and Loafing. I think Kent Daigle actually said that one day in a chat, and it kind of struck, like, are you listing or loafing? And so we've been doing that for, gosh, probably a year now too. Like that
sounds about right. Yeah. I'm gonna go back to the Nashville Flippers comment. He said that in YouTube is hard when you're doing reselling part-time. That's why and a lot of people wonder how I can do the same thing as far as listing and everything. I do a time block where in the morning when I'm up at 3:30 in the morning, like this morning, I did 29 listings and I have 28 drafts. And then yesterday I did 41 listings. So for me to get that done first thing in the morning while I'm drinking my coffee, just still waking up and getting things done, that helps me get it done in the morning. So that way after my morning show, all my packaging is already done for orders. So that way I can work on my next set of drafts and have that ready. So the biggest thing, even with part-time people, because I'm doing this full-time, you have to try to block times out just to get your things done that you want for your goals. And that's why I always say when you make a goal, don't make it so big that you can't accomplish it. Make it in smaller goals. And if you can reach those goals, then make them bigger for yourself. That way you can do it by doing time blocks on your timing. Also, if you have not been subscribed yet to OBX Picker, the link is at the top. Eric's got put his link at the top on his channel. He does have a second channel as well. Now, do you have your link on that on all your videos? It's on your description bar?
Yeah. Yeah, but if you check I know like the latest one I did, I actually got to hang out with a pickle reseller, Danny. So if you click down in the box of that one, it has a link. It's OBX.
Okay,
that's what it is.
I think they're related to that. Hello, Laura Bemos in the house. Miss Myra, hello, Buying Space. How are you doing? Good morning. Hello and welcome. Roman, I have heard that for sure.
he said something about I look like a pro wrestler. I actually, man, I was in used to do COVID's kind of knocked that out, but I used to go. I have a friend of mine that runs an orphanage in India, and I've been over there several times. But the first time I went over there, the guys were we went to like a tourist place, and I had my head shaved like I do now, but I used to just have a big goatee, not the big beard.
Right.
And back then I was working out a lot more than what I do now. And so the guys did come over, a bunch of those little Indian dudes wanting their picture with me. And I was like, who do they think I am? They're like, I think you're some kind of wrestler or something. Funny, but yeah.
So what platforms do you sell on? Is it just eBay or do you sell on any other platform?
I've messed around with some other ones. So initially just eBay. I do have a little bit of stuff on Amazon. Initially I got booted from Amazon and we had to come up with a different account and that kind of stuff. So I had a bunch of books and stuff when I got booted. And so I kept them on there. Occasionally I will look up some of the sporting goods stuff I got. I was unlocked on. I've actually recently, I've put some video game stuff on there. Because Amazon, even though they charge more, there is more money there. Even like the people that we all have drop shipped to, if you sell electronics at all, like you'll see if you go look on Amazon when they're drop shipping, because some of those VCR combos that you're selling for 80, they're selling for 200. Right. So that's some of it. I haven't had much success with that at this point, but I've sold, a decent amount on there. Macari, I've sold literally 3 things. Like I've put things on there. It's just, I don't know. It's just different. Like the whole thing, I didn't understand it when I first got on there and sold some stuff for super cheap because they kept dropping the price because I didn't click a box or something.
Right.
And I just, the cross listing, I had the one item I sold on Macari. I actually sold it on eBay the next day and forgot to take it off. So I just kind of backed off of Macari. I don't have anything on there currently. Yeah. I've sold on Facebook Marketplace. I still do some local pickup with that. Initially, I tried their shipping program. The only problem I've found with Facebook Marketplace, and everybody has their own experience, but for me, the lack of customer service has made it very difficult if you're going to be shipping. Right. Locally, it's not as bad, but for me, like I was shipping quite a bit of things on there, and then like something happened, my shipping got took down. I needed to update my ID, and when I tried to do that, so my IDs have a different address than I initially signed up for, and there's no way to change it and no way to get a hold of anybody. So I just said, well, heck with it. I'm not going to ship on there anymore. I am in process of getting approved for a new platform. You guys may have heard a little bit about it if you've been on Tuesday's show with us, but oh, sweet. $300 sale. Thank you. I just sold an Auto Heart. Weird as that is, but
a great way to start your morning, huh?
Yeah. Perfect.
Look, I love it. The Nashville Flipper lets us know exactly how they feel about Macari.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. I mean, I know Steve-O, if you guys don't know him, South Carolina Thrifted Treasure. He's another one of my early guys. He that's all he sells on is Macari. I was like, I wish good luck to you, buddy. Like everybody has their own.
It has a lot to do with what you're selling on there, because I have sold things on Macari, but I'm not listing stronger like I do on eBay. So same thing with Etsy. I'm not strong on there either, but I do list. Good morning, hello, and welcome, Jennifer in the house.
Hey, Jennifer.
So what is your go-to, and I know you do a little bit of everything. I knew that from day one when you started, but what is your go-to always when you're sourcing, your first category that you go to first?
Well, for me, it used to be electronics, to be honest with you, because that was something I'm into. Like, it's something I don't mind messing with. Like, some people are afraid of the bigger items, but sometimes bigger items are bigger rewards.
Right.
I've kind of got to be known for parts because I've picked up a bunch of parts like all the time. But when I'm outsourcing, I mean, typically here lately it's shifted a little bit because I am looking at going on a different platform. Hats are probably my go-to. Like, that's something I look for all the time now. I actually, I'm in the process of doing my own. If you guys see, I got my own little rig going now, so it's coming. This is actually a K-brand hat. It's old school.
Oh,
so,
which one?
If you, I don't even know if you can pick it up. K-brand. So I got my own patches, but I restored this thing. It's 100% mesh, like K-brand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So K-brand hats, if you see, like, I think just hanging out with Cernock, he really got me on the hat thing, and I enjoy it. My grandfather used to, he was a farmer, and as long as I can remember, he had hats. And so some of that old stuff that I see, like, now I ask about it like people ask for video games. So if I go to a yard sale, it's like, hey, you got any old hats? And most of the time they're pulling out, you know, somebody's church hat. And I was like, nah. So that's why I did this. Honestly, I took this old school hat. I put my own patch on it. I say, now I'm looking for hats like this. And they're like, oh, yeah. So at the 127, I had people go in their house like 3 times. It was great. So it's something I'm into. I've got a bunch of it. Like, I've probably got 300 or 400 hats right now.
Beaumont says it's easy to post on Macari, but everybody wants to lowball you. Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah. It's one of those things.
Reselling one ready board. And again, if you have any questions for Eric, go ahead and put it in the chat. If you have not subscribed to Eric before, the link is at the top in the blue box. Remembering when you go to someone's link in the chat, if it's red when you get to their channel, the word subscribe is in red. It means you're not subscribed. Change it to gray, and then next to it, hit those notifications so you don't miss out. Hello, Miss Tina. How are you doing? Good to see you. Do you still have a ton of boat parts?
Yeah, I'm actually down to 12 boxes.
Wow.
Yeah, I did sell some wholesale just because I got tired of messing with like the listing side of it. There was probably about 3 boxes of that I couldn't find. I just kind of moved on, but I did. Yeah, I've still got that. But now my latest parts buy. So initially when I bought boat Polaris. I've still got like maybe 4 boxes of Polaris. I've got 2 boxes left of the lawnmower parts, but I recently bought a whole van load of appliance parts, and those have been great. Like, they sell super fast. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing.
All right. The next question is, what was the new selling platform that you were waiting on for approval?
It's actually called Whatnot. Actually, I can probably put a link in the chat on Whatnot.
You have to apply for it?
Yeah. It's not I'll tell you what it is. It's an online auction site. What they do right now, they only have certain categories, one of which is vintage clothing. That's why I'm looking at going in, because of the hat situation.
That's what Kella does, a lot of vintage clothing.
Yeah. So Whatnot right now, Cernock and Cernock and if I can get this thing.
Yeah, I agree with finding treasures. I love the power of the decline button. I do that a lot too on Macari. I don't have a lot listed on there, but again, I already have my prices low enough that I'm not going down any lower. eBay Attic wants to know, talk a little bit about your new YouTube channel.
So Jeff, like, the new channel is where I have moved my lives to. So listing and loafing will be on there every Tuesday. And then also I'm going to be doing videos more about like the selling process of eBay and these other platforms, like, you know, more of the what sold, I have seen, and it's crazy. Like, I really don't like to be a copycat about things. But at the same hand, it's like, man, if you see success, guys are telling you this is what makes it successful. Like, at that point, they already know. So that's what I've done. Is originally I fell in the trap of just doing lives and not much pre-recorded, just because it's easier time wise for me. Now, Johnny running this show like he is, I could tell you, I've ran that Friday night show. just doing once a week is tough, like getting guests lined up, going through all that. So by no means am I diminishing the live show not being tough, but I'll just tell you, like, as far as that versus pre-recorded and having to go in and edit and do all that kind of stuff. So now I'm trying to split that up and just put my pre-recorded stuff on one channel, do my live listing and loafing, and then what's sold, that kind of stuff on the other channel.
Yeah, I did that in June.
Yeah.
Yeah, July 24th. I branched out because I had that interview I did with Pete over at his store at Craigslist Hunter's place.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was one of the questions I asked him. It just so happens that I had my GoPro on, and we were talking, and it came into an interview kind of thing, and he answered and everything. And I wanted to know why was that about? What was that about that he was telling people to do that? And the thing about it is that for me, I'm now doing all my pre-recordeds on the new channel. I think I'm at like 83 subs, but I've done two since July 24th. I've done two videos a week. And so what I'm doing now is the first video on the week is going to be what's sold or what are my source mystery boxes that I purchased. And then the next Thursdays are going to be the how-to videos again that I'm doing a series on.
Right.
So, that's what I've been doing. That's the reason why I did that. K-Brand and 3 Stripes are awesome.
Yep. Yeah, I got some cool ones I've recently sold.
Yeah, Bobby does a lot of hats too.
Yeah. I just picked this up on the 127. This one's actually, the tag is missing on it, but it looks like it's made in USA. It's like got the mesh back and cool content. Yeah. So occasionally I find some real good ones. I think the rest of them are up there, but I like even stuff like this just because the content's cool. I think like even having like personal like Myers,
like all trucker hats.
Yeah, that's the ones that people are into. They sell. They do pretty well for sure.
So have you been able to find them without the foam being all crushed up?
Well, honestly, the ones with the foam crushed up is the ones you want because they're worth more.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Do you just remove that out of there when you go to sell it? Or
yeah, just vacuum it out, and then I'll actually fill it with like I have some of the cardboard that I can put back in them just to make them stand up, but there's a process coming. Cernoc's actually working on an insert.
Oh, okay.
So, we're waiting. And my mom also sews, so it's one of those things. She's been working too on something that I could possibly use down the road. So
yeah, he's got a lot of hats. Between him and Bobby, I think they have they can do a hat store.
Yeah, dude, I can tell you, like I've got lawn and leaf bags full of hats. Like kind of what I got going on. So
talk a little bit about your listing and how you came about with the ones that are already on your show every week, and the difference that y'all do now compared to what you used to do when you did your listings.
I just dropped a link and I would let anybody and everybody come in, and there's something to be said for that. I actually did get to meet a lot of cool people, but really the purpose of our show is to work and to like it inspires me to work. It is some education there, like me hanging out with the guys that I hang out with now. Basically what happened is we got a group of guys who have the same mindset as me, as like, hey, when we're on here, we're going to go to work, but then we will take time and talk about things that we're working on, having like times of discussion about things on eBay or times of discussion about shipping or things that are going on. But like now Jennifer's actually dropping some of the links. So Tim over the years, guys, if you're not following Tim, he's a glass man and he knows that stuff for sure. But he also knows other things. Like he's gotten into sports cards and sports memorabilia. He knows some stuff about that. Tim is always one of those guys who's doing things a little different than other people. He does an auction on Monday nights with glass, and like if you go on there, you're like, man, this is different than what I see out everywhere else. Like he actually just throws a price up, then a number. If you grab the number, then it's yours. Yeah. So he has a different way of looking at things that for me has opened my mind to some things, and he's helped me a ton. Like honestly, with if I need to know about glass, or if I need something with sports cards or something like that, I reach out to him. And then Cernoc's connection. Cernoc said, honestly, I don't want to do YouTube, but he wanted to be a part of what's going on there, because Cernak, talk about vintage clothing. You know, everybody knows Cernak for hats, but that guy, his favorite category is shoes. And he knows t-shirts and jackets and tags, and like he can tell you, like, and I would tell you this, he's like the reseller MacGyver. He comes up with ways. Hey, another sale.
Just got another sale.
Johnny, good luck, bro. So anyway, so he creates all this stuff. Like, I know he got a little bit, like Daily Refinement had this board, for clothing that has like this particular cloth. So he took what Daily Refinement did and improved on it. He also put in this is kind of crazy. So he has a white like listing station that he put on top of Lazy Susan. So when he lists hats and shoes, he can just spin and get every side without having to move the shoes or the hat.
Yeah.
I was like, things like that I'm like, Cernak's always kind of a step ahead on some things, like just looking at how to improve. And then these guys both turned me on to this Whatnot app. So that's something in the future. Like, I've watched, he's been on it. Cernak's been on it a little over a month. Tim's been on it for a couple of weeks, but I'm still in the holding pattern. You have to wait like usually like 2 or 3 weeks after you get send your information in, maybe longer, because it is growing. The app's in beta right now, but they've introduced me to that. And then Leroy became a part of the show. Like, Leroy's a tool guy. He's somebody who is niched down, like just doing tools. Great guy. And, you know, always somebody who is willing to talk about things that we all struggle with sometimes, like just things going on with eBay or whatever. Like, so he'll say something about it or have questions. And we all kind of come and add to that show. And then Jimmy's in the mix too. I was telling him, old school flips. So Jimmy is a toy expert, video game guy. He knows all that kind of stuff. But Cameron had already been approved in less than a week. Maybe I emailed him too much, Cameron.
I have no clue how to use it, but don't want to start until I've watched it a bit. Yeah. That is awesome, though. Did you get the link to put in the chat for anyone, or did you put it in?
I'm trying to get it emailed to myself so I can put it up. But yeah, it's a cool feature. Let's see if I can just put the title.
Now, while you're doing that, I know you did, and since I've been watching, you've done a lot of the 127 sales, a lot of these large sales that you go garage selling on. But the ones that you did also, I want to say, was it the 411 sale or something like that, where you also did meet up with other resellers? Yeah. And so how has that been for you this year since the change of way things are happening? Have you been able to do real good on that one this year?
Yeah. So my first meetup I did this year was with Commonwealth Picker, Tim, and Cernak. We went to the 100-mile yard sale in Virginia. And so that was awesome because Commonwealth's somebody I've been watching since the beginning as well. So it's cool. That's the Whatnot invite, like, from me. It is an app-based thing, so you will have to do it on your phone or tablet, that kind of thing. So, but so meeting up with him was awesome. Hanging out with Tim and Cernak and watching them pick in person, because that's the other side of doing this is getting the chance to see how other people operate. And I'll tell you, from a YouTube perspective, being around Kevin is like going to class, you know, because seeing how he operates in the field with a camera and still picking, like it's really like he's one of the guys that for me is like, whoa, you know, like just seeing that in person.
Right.
Then I actually I went to the reseller rally after that. So that was fun and great, getting to meet a lot of people that in person that you've talked to or know, or even people you don't know. Like I didn't know Roman before I got there, and we them. Cameron, I talked to some, but like I said, getting to see him in person and hang out with those guys as well. But then because I just spent time with Kevin, I actually ended up. I didn't have a vehicle on the way there because I just flew in and then got an Uber, which took an hour. If you fly to Cincinnati, just be prepared. It's a long wait to get an Uber. but we got there, and so Kevin and his wife had drove, and I ended up hanging out with them. I actually chauffeured them around a little bit. That's what I ended up doing.
Oh, wow.
But and then I got to hang out with him, Matt and Kevin picking, which unfortunately my GoPro card aired out. Like I got one of those where basically all my footage is gone. The SD card like had a big problem. So anyway, I have footage that those guys shot that they put out there, but like picking with those guys is amazing. Just to see how they go about it. And like being with Matt, like I used to watch Matt's videos, and probably like most of you guys, part-time pickers, see what I'm talking about. But most of you guys are probably like me, like there ain't no way this guy's finding all this stuff like he is. And sure enough, man, when we went out to the yard sale, I was like, here's Matt just finding grail after grail. Like, I'm like, what? How are you doing this? Like, of course, Cincinnati's pretty prime picking ground too. But
yeah,
like going out with those guys in the field and kind of seeing, and too, like seeing how Matt operates with the camera is like one of those things that's kind of helped me in my YouTube a little bit as well. And then the 127 last year, I went again this year, me, Kevin, and Sean Bargain Resales. He has a really small channel, but one of my early supporters as well. We actually got a house together and then met up with Chris Old School Picker, met up with Colton and Courtney, Redneck Resale, Arcade Trackers, and also Smoking Flips, Brandon with his son.
Yeah. I was surprised to see him when I was watching the videos and he made it because I haven't seen him in a while.
Brandon's actually on the barbecue circuit, like he's cooking. So actually the only reason he was there is because about 45 minutes from where we're at, him and his son were actually competing. His son actually finished first place, and
no way.
He finished.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool because I like watching them.
Yeah, so like the plan right now is I'm probably going to go back to the 411. I'm trying to work out details for that now. That's the end of the month. But we really wanted to, and we talked about probably next year for the 127, we're actually going to make some arrangements about getting a place and kind of having a little meetup that would be open to anybody that comes that way. Like we'll just either get a restaurant or something like that where we'll, sorry guys, I'm getting like 20 million updates.
I was going to say, is that you?
Yeah.
I'm looking everywhere on my phone, my computer to see if it's me.
My computer, like all of a sudden caught up and it's like giving me all these updates. But yeah, so that's something that we're looking at in the future as well. But if you guys are going to the 411, hit me up on Instagram. Like I would be happy to meet up with whoever. I actually met up with Nathan too, Rummage to Riches. Riches. Yeah. He actually was running a booth out there. Got to meet with Danielle. That was Shad Juice. He's actually my next week's video will be Shad Juice. I will tell you this, Shad, if you're a video game guy, like Shad has a room in his house that literally, if you're a big time video game guy, you might pass out if you walk in there. Like you might, because I mean, you talk about stuff like this guy has about every gaming system you can imagine in the box. And then he has games in the box, like stuff like you're like, man, this is like 100 years worth of stuff. But like finding
serious gamer, then, right?
Yeah, he's a collector, man. He collects that stuff, but he obviously sells that stuff as well. So that'll be a fun video coming out this week.
Right. So if you haven't subscribed to OBX Picker, which is Eric, his link is in the top in the blue box. If you go to his latest video, he does have his new channel in the description of that video. The link is at the top. Go check it out. If you do go to anyone's link in the chat and it says subscribe is in red, that means you're not subscribed. Change it to gray. And then right next to it, the all bell notification, the very top one, so you don't miss out when somebody puts out a video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get ready to open the chat to those in the chat on the live stream. Before I do that, I would like for you to go ahead and cover again on your channel, your new channel, your platforms you sell on, what you're doing, and more things that they can find on your channel when they go to check out your channel.
Okay. So, like I said, if you are just getting in here, basically I do have two channels now. The first channel is OBX Picker. That's the OG channel, my original. That in OBX Picker right now, what we're doing is filming picking. me actually going out doing some picking myself, but also I have this series called What You Picking. I think I've actually dropped 5 episodes now. Encourage you, if you haven't watched it, go back and watch the original episode. We had Kevin Commonwealth Picker, and then we just kind of moved through. John Cincinnati Picker's been on there. Danielle, one of my guys that I actually picked from myself, was on there, who owns the auction house, and pick what reseller. And then we also have a special guest, which is kind of just a spoof thing for me. But if you see the one that says mystery guest, then you definitely don't want to miss that guy, because he's real good. But the second channel is OBX Flips. And what I'm doing on that, we do have the Tuesday listing live. It's called Listing and Loafing, or Listing or Loafing. And what's going down with that is we have several people on with me in the mornings, and we just work. We list. We answer questions about eBay, about other platforms selling, just trying to motivate each other to work more, to list more, to be more active in selling. But also we have on that same channel, I'm starting to drop more what solds, more kind of behind the scenes with eBay. I'm actually fixing to drop a video probably in about 3 days about this recent sale and promotion that I ran in my own store, and kind of letting you know how that could help you out as well. So that'll be one of the new videos coming out on that channel.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to go ahead and drop the link for the StreamYard. If you want to come on in and talk about your channel, promote your channel, you're more than welcome to do so. There's the link, and I just pinned it to the top, so it will switch out in a few seconds to where it's going to switch out to the top in the blue box. Also, if you want to be a guest on the morning show, I am looking for guests now starting for September. I am fully booked for August. Now I am booking for September. If you want to reach out to me, I would be glad to have you on and promote your channel, showcase your channel. That way you can come on and we can talk about your channel. And also, I just posted the link, and I did this morning. Every Friday morning, I do post the new featured channel for the week. This week, starting today, is Bama Picking and Grinning. That's Mr. John. There's his link. It's also in the community page of the channel, where I put that out every Friday morning. So is he in here? I just saw somebody say hello to him. I'm not sure if he's in here or not. But anywho, he did come on a little bit yesterday, and that's his link for his channel. He is the featured channel for the week. Also, we have BMOS coming in. Hello, good morning, and welcome. And hello, Mr. Edwards. How are you doing? Good to see you. Hello, hello.
Hello, guys.
How you doing?
I'm fine. How are you guys?
I'm blessed. 3 items, 30 minutes, no comps challenge. Wow. I don't know. I got to comp my stuff. A new video. Tell everybody a little bit about what's going on your channel, and how and who you rotate with, and where they can find you.
Okay, my partner in crime is Melanie Lightning. We auction 4 nights a week: Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. From week to week, we switch. This week was on Melanie's channel. Next week will be on my channel. And we're on at 7 p.m. Eastern. Monday nights, our permanent seller is Ella. She was on for the first time last week. She is our permanent seller on Monday. Tuesdays, it's myself, Marion, and Melanie. And on Thursday night, it's myself and Melanie.
Someone's echoing with YouTube.
I know. I don't know where YouTube is coming in, because everything of mine is off. But
I'm sorry, go ahead.
So on Thursday night, we have a guest with Melanie and I. And then on Friday, it's myself, Melanie, and Marion. And we do take guests on that night also.
And y'all rotate every week?
Yep. Next week's on my channel. This week was on hers. We rotate back and forth. But it's always at the same time and on the same days. There
you go. So don't forget to set your reminders. So what do you have coming up, Eric, as far as any special events coming up that you're going to start doing on your channel?
As far as special events, I don't really know right off. Like I said, I'm trying to get more consistent with pre-recorded stuff. I've actually got a ton of footage from the 127 that I need to get up. And but like I said, on the new channel, every Tuesday we will be doing the listing and loafing. Feel free to do that. Usually I try to get my Watch You Picking episode out on Wednesdays. So usually Wednesday afternoon around 5 is when I try to drop that.
Right.
This week was late. But other than that, just going to be putting out some footage of going out picking and some of the ways that I source. And then on the other channel, like I said, we'll do the listing and loafing, and then also like some of the eBay content. So
now I have another question for you. How big is your shed that you wound up getting a year ago?
14 by 24. So it's actually pretty big. The way I got it set up is I have shelving down both walls, like all but 8 feet. Like this last 8 feet that I'm sitting in is kind of the work station side of things,
right?
And then everything else is just stacked with inventory. Like I have shelving down the middle, like back to back, and then I have shelving on the end. I'm actually fixing to have to take out one of my shelving to put in a clothing rack, just to try to get stuff out of the house. So.
Right. So do you do a lot of clothing, or is it more hard goods?
Well, what I'm doing right now is I'm stacking clothing for Whatnot.
Okay.
Because once I get on that, I'm kind of going to do a mixture. I've got like a bunch of jackets I sourced over this past summer.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually going to mess with those a little bit. All vintage stuff. All like I've still got some of the starter jackets I got for the sporting goods buy, but I've got tons of hats. So what I'm going to do when I get on Whatnot, I'll have the vintage clothing as far as hats, t-shirts, and the like jackets, that kind of stuff.
So
I don't want to sell them on eBay, like unless they're. I will show you a shirt I just got there. That's like $100 and some shirt. Concert tee, psychedelic furs. It's from 1987.
Nice.
So Cernock had me list this thing for $175.
How many of those jersey jackets you still have from when you did that buy and then you turn on the giveaway for your 1,000 sub giveaway?
Probably five.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's Leroy, blood, sweat, and sell. I got it right today.
Yeah, I just talked to him yesterday.
Yeah.
Eric, I'm with you. I'm waiting on Whatnot also.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Whatnot, man. I think that, honestly, for those of you guys that don't know kind of the details, like Whatnot, it's pretty awesome if you're wanting to auction because they take 8%, which, you know, some people are like, well, I can do 3.5 on PayPal. But here's the other side of it. They have a platform. You don't have to like they've already got some traffic there, especially depending on what you're selling. But they automatically take payment from your buyer. You don't have to invoice. You don't have to deal with, hey, let's wait. So, are they going to pay or are they not going to pay? As soon as you buy something, if your bid is the one that goes through, they draft it from your account. I've bought from them. I see how it works.
Yeah,
and then they also, like what the guys are telling me, at the end of your auction, you get a sheet that has every person that bought, what they bought, how much they paid. Out to the right, it says ship. And you click that button, and that's their label. Yep. So you pack, you label. You don't have to handle shipping. You don't have to handle the invoicing. All you're doing is putting stuff in. If you're selling T-shirts, you're putting stuff in a poly bag, putting a thing on it. So Cernock says it packs every auction in less than 30, 40 minutes.
Hello, Crystal. Good morning. Hello, and welcome, Moon Goddess Treasure. So my question for that is, you know how long they've been doing this? And does it all have to be auction item, or is it can you do buy it nows?
You can do buy it nows. They've actually been doing it 1 year. From what I'm seeing on the buy it now front, I actually put some items up for buy it now as I've been waiting to get approved. Cameron, you got to give me the hookup, man. I don't know what the deal is. But anyway, as I'm waiting to get approved, I put some stuff up on buy it now. I haven't had any success with it. But in watching these auctions, I've been watching them for a little while because Cernock and these guys have been talking about it for a little while. And so what I've seen is the guys who sell buy it now, what they do is they put stuff in their store. They mention it in their auction. They'll say, okay, we got this many items, but then I've got this. If you want to buy this now. Yeah. And they pop it up and then they sell it.
That's neat.
See, I do comics, and comics are huge on Whatnot.
Oh yeah,
I
a lot
buy
more
from
money
them.
than you can get on other places on some of that stuff too.
Yeah, I've made really good connections in the comic community. So
Yeah.
I'm in with some bigger channels and stuff right now.
Nice. Nice.
So when you apply, do you have to apply for certain categories, or is it any category across the board?
They ask you like what specifically you want to do,
Okay.
but it's interesting. Like Cernock and Tim have both been through the process. So when you apply, you give them what other platforms you're selling on. You actually tell them your store, your social media stuff. Like they want to see all that because basically they want to see that you're for real and that you can help drive traffic to the platform. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So like I think it's still going to do nothing but get bigger because they've expanded since I first started watching. Originally they had maybe 4 or 5 different categories. Like now they're probably 20. Like they've kind of moved out a little bit. So
and if you've ever done a Instagram live, it's a lot like that. Well, for anybody who's done it, it has the same type of where your live is going right over the top of your picture, but it's a great platform to sell on. I mean, everybody that I know in the bigger comic community is selling on Whatnot, and they do way better than on YouTube or anything else. You can go on for 15 or 30 minutes and sell multitude of items.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like you set your own deal. Like you can auction as many or as little as you want, and you can add on the fly. Like if you wanted to add something in, you can add on the fly.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. I do have the link to the StreamYard at the top in the blue box. If you want to come in and talk about your channel, anything special you got going on this week, you're more than welcome to put it in come in on the panel. Also, to remind everybody, this week next week coming up, actually, next Friday, I am scheduling at 2:00 p.m. Eastern pop-up auction. I already have a total of we're gonna have a full 10 people panel on Friday in rotation. Also starting this Wednesday coming, Ella is my permanent co-host every Wednesday at 2 p.m. on the Hump Day auction. Don't forget on Mondays, I do have the Monday Fun Night Bingo Night at 5 p.m. Eastern. That's every Monday. And then again on Monday through Friday, the morning shows. I do have guests set up all the way to the end of the month. Already starting to book for next month. So if you'd like to come on and talk about your channel, promote your channel, and showcase things that you do on your channel, and you just never know who you may be able to help with things that you're doing that somebody else may be having a question on, and that you may be able to answer that to them. So definitely reach out to me on any of my social media pages to where you can reach out to me and let me know you're interested, and I'll give you the next available dates that I do have when you contact me, because I am doing those first come, first serve. So as I get messages, I do answer them immediately, and then I wait for them to reply to me before I send the next person the available dates. So make sure you do that. Now, on your next, Eric, for any of the upcoming events on your the whole 100 miles or whatever type different size, what's the next one you're doing, and when is that going to be?
I think the next one I'm going to is the 411, and let me pull the date. I think it's the end of September. 411. So I can give you the exact date.
Hello, Nikki. How are you doing? Good to see you. Hello, hello, hello.
And Eric, I don't know if you know, but there's another platform coming out, and I've already been in touch with them also. They launch in September.
Oh, cool.
Called Galaxy.
Galaxy?
Called what?
Yes. Galaxy.
Oh, okay.
Now, they initially are only going to be doing, they're set up to do like clothing, handmade stuff, vintage jewelry, stuff like that.
Right.
So I'm going to be doing handmade stuff on there also.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the 411 is the 28th through the 2nd of September.
Oh, yes. I did hear Colton talk about that on his channel yesterday.
Yeah, so I'm only going to be down there like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I'll be in the Alabama area, like between Gadsden and Georgia on the
Yeah, 'cause
411.
somebody asked if he was going to be open that Thursday, and he said he will be opening his shop that Thursday.
Yeah. So that's the plan.
Did you see his crop dusting video?
Yeah. God. He's
really funny.
Hilarious. Yeah.
Hello, Adam. How are you doing? Good to see you. Hello. Let's see. Everybody's saying hello to each other. And there's my link tree for if you want to reach out to me and want to be on the morning show. As a morning guest, you're more than welcome to reach out to me.
Yeah, my latest thing that I'm going to try to get on Whatnot with is I have a video about this Lego haul that I just had. And so I've got tons and tons of Legos. This is like small sampling. I've got I filled the back of my van. These are all minifigures though. So yeah, I'm hoping to get on that platform sooner rather than later because I've got minifigures out the tail, but I'd rather just sell it immediately rather than having to.
You got them bagged already?
Yeah, this guy that I bought from this video, they're see how they're all kind of individual. Like this guy,
are they sealed?
No, they're like in little baggies.
But, like little jewelry bags.
Yeah, this guy sold on Bricklink. Yeah, so in the video we talk about how he went out of business, like he was moving. So I've filled my van twice of Legos. Like I've got more Legos than I've ever seen in Walmart. But
I want you to do a tip, and for those who are just starting out, for example, and they're wanting to get some type of inventory, because I know I've been watching you from the get-go, and it's amazing on how you get these great deals. Give some final tips on what somebody should do, especially if they're just starting out and wondering about getting some type of large bulk buy.
My biggest thing is to ask. Like honestly, I always ask. Like if I see, if you see people out and about, or like say if you go to a yard sale, how I got this deal, I saw the guy had in his yard sale listing he had collections. That was one little tip. But when this guy rolled out, he had a cart full of Legos. So I asked him how much for all of it. That's one of the things. Or do you have more of this? That's the other thing that we always talk to people about. And then I tell them what I'm looking for. So like most of the stuff I've bought along those lines, it's like I'm willing to take all of this. If you're just starting out, it may be tougher economically. Like it may be a bit of a gamble. But the other thing I look at if I'm going to buy things in bulk, is there one or two items that can pay for all this? Like that's kind of what I'm looking at. It's like, hey, is there a couple things? Or like with the initial Lego buy, the guy came out, he said $3 a bag. Well, he had 1 pound bags of Legos. And I'm sitting there doing some quick math in my head. You can sell a pound of Legos on eBay for about $12, $13. And the dude had like 150 pounds. So I was like, what's the best you can do? So he ended up I ended up splitting this with a guy. We'd have paid $240 for all those. And he probably had, he probably had 240 bags. Like there's 30 bags in each container. No, 120 bags. Yeah. So we paid $2 a bag. So I'm sitting there thinking like, hey, you can't, it's hard to lose. It's hard to lose if you got that much inventory. So you don't have to go out and source again. It's also one of those things that you look at and say, hey, this sells for. In the Lego buy that I bought, there's actually 2 or 3 of those units that sell for $200. So
wow,
I spent a total of $540 on all of the Legos.
So Leroy wants to know, you're going to be selling on Whatnot and selling the tools. What happened? You learned a lot from him. You're going to start selling tools now? He taught you a lot?
Yeah.
Nicety wants to know, thank you for the info on Whatnot. Are you on other auction platforms? If so, which ones, and would you recommend them?
The only other one I've done is, and I've only done it twice, is I saw him in here earlier, Mike. I went on with January House a couple times on an auction. I actually did, I forgot who even set one of these up. I also did another auction, a fundraiser auction that we did over Christmas. I think Victoria and Nana set it up. for the lovely Miss Jennifer Hayes.
Yeah.
So I was on that one, but I don't typically do auctions really, but this site is something different that I think it like, and honestly, the reason I don't do auctions, I have such an appreciation for you guys who do, because that's a lot of work. Like
Look, Mike came back on you. You're welcome.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, man. Those guys, like, everybody's like, oh, it's easy, you get rid of all this stuff. No, you got to stop. You got to invoice. And honestly, the first time I did it, I was an idiot because I didn't even think about the shipping. So I actually gave away about half my first auction because I didn't know, you know. Like, Mike's over here with like.
So in other words, you pay people to take your stuff.
Yeah. I was like, hey guys, just have some stuff. This is like a 5-pound chip, and I'm an idiot.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that because sometimes you pay people to come get it from you, and it's not going to be worth it if you keep doing that.
Yeah, so I just, you know, I haven't really done much more of that. Mike, I could pop on and do some hats or something, some Lego lots. Like we could probably do that.
And again, auctions do work for other people too, depending on what they're doing. But it is a lot of work. And for me, I enjoy it because lately I've been doing it where I host the auction and then others just come on and do it, where I'm enjoying that more because I've been doing a lot of my stuff going into the antique booth now. So for me, I'm getting more in my antique booth than I really am getting it on auction or selling on auction. So for me, that's one of the reasons why I don't sell. And I don't say I don't 100% because I will do it here and there. But because I have a good co-host list of shows coming up, and then, of course, when we do pop-ups, I open up to anybody who wants to come on. I think it's been working really well because I like doing the hosting part of it. And then people feel comfortable coming on and being able to do it, especially if it's their first time and they want to try it out. So that's why I enjoy doing it.
I will say that I think Melanie and I both like the auction. I had an eBay store. I hated it. I hate the listing.
Yeah.
And the auctions are more, you know, it's more immediate, instant gratification kind of thing.
Yeah. And nice thing was to know, have you ever tried HiBid or any online auction site? I have tried HiBid. There's also a few others.
Now, you sold on HiBid or you
bought?
Yeah, because if she's asking about like that, like I know you can buy on HiBid. To sell on HiBid, you actually have to get linked up with an auctioneer. Yeah. I've actually checked into that as well. I will tell you, I forgot to even mention this earlier. So a couple of other avenues I am reselling on now is I do have a small antique booth. I'll just tell you, it's not super profitable for me. It's more like a place to store stuff and not have to pay for it. Right. But, like I'm probably, I don't know yet. I'm making a decision at the end of the month as to whether I continue that. But I've found a local auction house that'll take and sell anything. So I've used that for some purging and just dropping stuff off. Like, they take their 30% and I don't have to deal with it. I just drop it off, let her go.
Right.
So, one of those things.
Well, hello, Miss Kayla.
Hi, friends. How are you?
I'm blessed.
Twice in one day. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Twice in 2 days.
Yeah,
Sorry.
in a week. Yeah.
Hi, Eric. Nice to meet you.
Hey, Kayla. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. So as soon as you started talking about that Whatnot app, I went over and immediately signed up. So
yeah,
it's definitely in my wheelhouse.
Is great.
Yeah. Hi, Laura. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I encourage you watch some of that stuff, like especially if it's categories you're interested in, like see what's going on. I will tell you, Tim and Cernock both have auctions on there now. If you guys know them, not right now, but they're on the schedule and they're as the same as their YouTube channels. So if you guys want to go and check them out,
subscribe to both of them. So I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, I've bought quite a bit on Whatnot actually. A lot of the bigger comic guys that I'm hooked up with also sell on Whatnot. So yeah.
So when you're saying they're doing auctions, is it something they're doing at a live?
Dude, I can show you.
Live. It's all
live. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, I can show you one real quick. Let me see if I can find somebody that's not like dropping.
I get notifications all day long about various comics because that's the category I'm in. So I get various, and like I've gone on there, and even some of the bigger comic guys that I deal with on other channels go on there and sell, and a lot of times pick up comics for $1 a book. Well,
hey, I'm not going to put the audio on it because sometimes these guys don't have a language barrier like we do.
Right.
So I'll just show you there on my phone if you can see it. Let me get it on my StreamYard second. So it kind of looks like this, like the guy's auctioning the one card. See down at the bottom how it says to bid in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're actually bidding on a live auction.
Yes, and they take payment immediately. When you go on to Whatnot, you have to put in payment information, and the minute that you win, it comes out of your account immediately.
Yep, that plus shipping and tax comes out immediately.
That is awesome.
So it's a 1 minute auction. They do a soft close. So if you just bid a minimum, it adds like 10 seconds back. If you bid higher, then it adds more time, like 20 seconds, I think.
Now, are you having to bid at the time it's going on, or can you put your highest bid that you wanted to stop at?
No, it's all live. Everything's live.
Yeah, you've got to bid. If somebody bids above you, you got to bid again. Yeah.
So then you know that the bid went up at that time.
Yeah,
Right.
there is sniping. Yeah.
Is Whatnot for clothing and books?
Yes, you can do anything on Whatnot. They have several categories.
Yeah, right now it's like so they have Pokemon, sports cards, sports memorabilia, vintage clothing, video games, other. You can do pretty much whatever you want. Funko Pops, designer toys, Funko soda, Fig Pen, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, Legos. That's one of the ones that I'm like, please let me in there.
Now, do you pay the 8% of your total of what the final bid was? How does that work?
Yeah, whatever, not the shipping or the tax, just 8% of whatever the final bid is, and they just draft it out. Like, so the other side of it, the payment is more like Macari. Once people receive the item, like in 2 days, you'll get your payment. That's
okay.
That's how it works.
And so you have to ship it within so many days.
Yeah. I mean, and it does have a rating system, and I'm not sure like how low you dip. But I can tell you what's funny to me is because all of us we're used to shipping, right? Yep. So like I've bought some stuff from people that, man, it took a little while to get, and then like so Cernak and Tim are shipping like that night, like they're basically labeling it up because they're like, this is easy, like let's get it out here. Right, so they both have great ratings. A lot of people have less ratings because they're just not used to doing.
Yeah, and I've gotten my stuff in. Some of the stuff from Whatnot has come immediately. Some of it, in a week or so, But I like the system. I like the way that it's handled.
Now, can you set up your handling time, or do they automatically do that for you? Do you know?
If you're going to be on vacation, obviously you wouldn't want to run an auction,
right?
That'd be the only thing. I mean, I had a guy, he was away. I've bought some cards from there. I bought a shirt from Cernak just to support him, but I bought some cards from people, like part of breaks, doing some breaks on there. And like one guy, man, it took forever to get it, like 2.5 weeks for me to get my stuff.
Wow.
It's because he was out of town at
was he in a town that didn't have a post office?
The Nationals. He was at Nationals, like the National Card Show. So it took a minute for me to get them.
Yeah, what I like about with my shipping on all my platforms, it's 1 day handling time, but I get more comments on my feedback on how fast they got it and faster than what they expected. That even if on the weekends, like say Friday, I know I usually says I don't have to do it till Monday. It's going out Friday. I have a time thing. If it's before 3 o'clock, it's going out that day. But if it's on the weekend and I get it before the deadline of 10 o'clock on Saturday, it's going out Saturday. Because, again, they're not expecting it anytime sooner. But that does make it look like, wow, this came in faster than I expected. So you just never know.
Melanie and I we've set it up because we auction 4 nights a week. We kind of do, we can carry it through the week and everything gets shipped on the weekend, either Saturday or Monday morning, and then you start all over. or if you need it faster, tell us and we'll get it out, kind of thing.
Right.
But it does.
Do you all have any questions for Eric? Go ahead and put them in the chat. We can go and get them answered for you. Again, I'm going to drop my link tree in case if you want to be a part of the morning show as a guest to showcase your channel. Reach out to me because, again, it's first come, first serve, and I am doing this now for booking in September. Go ahead, Kayla.
So, Eric, what kind of fandoms are you in? Like, what are your kind of guilty pleasures?
I basically don't like. It's weird. I'm even though I resell and see all kinds of stuff. I'm not really a collector. I do like I do like the hat stuff, but as far as keeping it for myself, most of the time I just let it go. I shared earlier. I've got like these old school Converse that I held on to, but it's only because they're one shoes. They're displays, so it's not really. I always joke and say if it's something that I like, I'll just price it a little higher, hold on to it for a little while, and then let it go. But we are constantly remodeling. Like at our house, we're constantly moving stuff in and out. Like we may hold on to stuff for a little while, but honestly, most of what we even have decorating our house is for sale.
You're like a temporary collector.
Yeah. I like old hats. I do like sporting goods stuff. Like I like, things that I remember as a kid. Like right now, I actually have I picked this up at the 127. I thought it was cool.
Oh, that is cool.
Oh, that is different.
Yeah, it's not old, but it's made to look old. So it's kind of like a Jordan thing. Like, I don't know if I can, hold on. I'll try to get.
Is that made out of metal?
So it's hard to. So like, see my old Jordan poster up there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've got a Dr. J thing. Like, that's kind of.
I see your old. Is that a monitor? Or?
Yeah, that's an old. It's actually an old TV. Like it's. Yeah, I've got the old school TV that has the old turn dial to her.
Is that an old casino device next to what you're standing under?
What is it?
That you're standing next to, is that a casino real?
This is a Japanese slot machine.
Slot machine, yeah.
Yeah, it's actually called a Pachinko.
A Pachinko?
Yeah, there's
for a while.
Yeah, I haven't done anything with it because I haven't found the right place to sell it yet.
I remember when you got that.
Yeah, I've been looking at some auction houses for that. So the comps are all over the map. I've actually joined a couple of Facebook groups trying to like see what I can get out of it. I picked it up for $40.
Oh, that's great. Pachinko machines are great. I know a little bit about them, but it depends on the fandom.
Actually, like Pachinko.
Pachinko.
Well, there's two. There's a Pachinko, and then there's Pachinko.
Oh yeah, yes, the slot machine versions.
Yeah, so this is actually like has the. I've got all the coins and stuff too, tokens.
Trying to see what it is.
Edo 1. That's what the name of the guy is.
Like what's the characters on it?
Yeah, it's called Edo 1. EDO 1. That guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he is. Edo 1.
Very fun.
So that's something I picked up out of my guy. He called me.
That's awesome.
He said, I bought 16 storage units. Do you want to come and look and see if there's anything you want? Okay. So I went in there. I didn't think it worked, and then I plugged it in. It all works, and I actually was able to set it to hit the jackpot. So
all right, everybody. Now that he's in the chat, don't forget the featured channel of the week is right here. He just came in the chat. If you haven't checked out his channel, that is going to be the link right now. I'm going to put in the chat. He is the featured channel for the week, so go check him out. Great kids. I love his videos. I love everything that he stands for. So go check him out. Good morning, Kathy. Good morning, Patrick. And yes, he is the feature channel as of this morning for this week. Every Friday morning, I do put out a new channel, feature channel. So we're going to go ahead and get ready in the show. I do see my numbers going back down again. So before we do leave, I want everybody to go back again and talk about I am. Yes, you are, Bama. Yes, John, you are the feature channel for this week. I put it out this morning before the show, which I do every Friday. So, Laura, go ahead and tell everybody what's going on your channel, and who they can find, where you can find, and all the good stuff on your auctions.
Oh, okay. Our tagline, come for the laughs, skills, because you never know what we're going to bring out. Melanie and I auction Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Depending on the week, it's either on her channel or mine. This week was on her channel. Next week will be on mine. We rotate back and forth. And we start at 7 p.m. Eastern. Monday nights is myself, Melanie, and now Ella. On Tuesday nights, it's myself, Melanie, and Marion. On Thursday nights, it's myself and Melanie, and we usually have a guest. This coming week, we will be having Rebecca Rader on. And then on Friday, it's myself, Melanie, and Marion. We do take guests. If anybody wants to come auction with us, all you got to do is email myself, email Melanie. Mine is real easy. It's my name, Laura Bemos, LauraBemos @gmail.com, and we will get you scheduled. We have a lot of fun. Our auctions are drawing a lot more people. The other night, we actually stayed on for 4 hours because we had so many people, and the sales were doing really great. So come out and see us.
That's right. Okay.
That everybody has fun.
And also, y'all rotate every week?
We do. My channel is next week. Her channel was this week. We rotate back and forth, and we do the whole week on that person's channel. That way everybody can keep up with it. It's a lot easier than if she does one day, I do one day. We just do it by the week.
And for those who may not know, that is Melanie Lightbeam. She does it on her channel all this week, and then Laura does it on her channel the following week. They rotate that way. All right, Kayla?
And I can attest, their live auctions are so much fun to be a part of, and I definitely want to come on and join you all again. So it's fun. Hi, everybody. My name is Kayla. I'm a vintage clothing and nerdy clothing reseller on Poshmark. And tonight I'm going to be on Horizon Picks live auction at 10 p.m. I believe Patrick posted the link earlier. Yeah, so come and have fun with us. We'll have lots of nerdy themed stuff. I have some 90s pogs tonight that I'm going to sell, and I've got some Disney and, you know, vintage stuff. So you never know what's going on. So it's a great show. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. All treasures and more. And that's
all right, Eric.
Okay, guys. So for me, probably the next thing coming up on my channel will be I'll be dropping a pick-in video at the beginning of the week from the 127. So you can come check that out. As always, I have two channels. So one of them is the OBX Picker channel. I have this kind of content on picking. Also doing this series, What You Pickin'. I encourage you to go back and watch those. I have 5 episodes already out. So you can check that out. You can go on OBX Flips channel, which is my second channel. And every Tuesday we're doing listing and loafing, and we'll be hanging out from like 9 a.m. till usually about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So stop by anytime on that. Feel free to have any questions. You can reach out to me on Instagram if you have anything for me personally. That's usually the best way to get a hold of me.
Hello, Alexi. Also, don't forget, if you go back and watch it on the channel that I have here in the chat, if you go back and watch the last video he did, he does have his new channel link in the description of that video. So definitely go check it out. Kayla's auction. Alexa, good morning. Welcome. Morning, Johnny. Sorry, I'm slow reading the chat. You're fine. You're good. So again, like I say before in each and every show, don't forget Monday through Friday, I do this morning show with a guest. The guest usually is someone who is going to be featured their channel for that day. Talk about things that they do that you never know what kind of tips or tricks they can teach you. Remembering that everybody that does come on, they do their way of their business a certain way, but you just never know what you can take from it and actually see if it works for you. It's not that everybody does something the right way or the wrong way. It's just that's what works for them. And if they can give us some tips and pointers, and that can help you along the way, especially for those of you or even thinking about getting on reselling or thinking about doing YouTube. I love when I see comments that says I haven't had any videos yet. And usually that tends to be that they're going to be coming out with some kind of video in the future. So that's why I like keeping this positive and love featuring channels so that way we can get to know other people and put a name with a face. And so with that being said, don't forget to go check them out. And in the chat, there are links to different channels. So make sure you get the channel link. And when you go to the channel, if the word subscribe is in red, when you get to that channel, it means you're not subscribed. Change it to gray. And then set the notifications right next to it so you don't forget. It's a very top and it says all notifications. Eric is one of the most genuine people. Yes. I've been watching him from day. I was his third subscriber, and I've been watching him ever since. So, yes, you got that. So, again, don't forget to go subscribe to everybody. Show some love and support. And also, when you do go to someone's channel, watch a video, make a comment, because that all helps you and them with their channel. So, as I say before, in each and every show, love always. Love is always free. Please be kind to one another until we meet into another chat. Have a blessed and safe weekend. And for those who are in the path of these different types of hurricanes happening, please be safe. And hopefully we'll see you again in another chat. And until we do, later. Peace out. Somebody else would like to come on the chat and talk to us after the show. The link is still going to stay at the top of the chat. You're more than welcome to come in and join us. Till then, peace out.